It's always a pleasure to come up in this occasion and to talk about the awardees and give them their just due, because like many of us say, that we don't really get, or we don't really have the time to tell them really how we appreciate what they do for our community. And as most of us know, Cup Match, to me and most of us, is the holiday. It's not just a holiday, it is the holiday. And it's an event that is truly enshrined within our culture, within our heritage. And I think we have to continuously appreciate that, especially for our young people, because we're losing a lot of our young people to a lot of violence and a lot of unfortunate circumstances within there. But these things are what can bring our community together. Because I think in light of everything that happens within our community when it comes to Cup Match, we just seem to come together and just, whether you're from Somerset, St. George's, or any other part of the island, I think it truly encompasses what we're about.
I actually, really and truly, most of you would have been told last year that you wouldn't see me here in this capacity. And I honestly need to tell you that I'm not someone who tells lies. Okay. I'm standing here in President Alfred Mayor's staff. He is traveling, and he certainly extends his apologies for not being here. But of course, it gave me another opportunity to come and celebrate with Heritage Productions. I just want to mention something, because I think one of the things that Mr. Woods talked about earlier is this event being held at Hamilton Princess. I want to clarify something, because I think if it wasn't last year, it was maybe the year before that, when I made a similar comment. That is to take nothing away from this establishment. The whole point being that Bermuda truly needs an event facility that facilitates events such as this. I'm not putting any pressure on my fraternity brother, Minister Reed, to go back to the cabinet and seek funding, because I am a firm believer in the fact that it's not government's responsibility to do everything for the people. When we all come together.
I'm accepting this award on behalf of my brother, and he currently lives overseas, and he's been living overseas for maybe the past 30 years. He's unable to be here due to work commitments, and he's just asked me to convey this message, and I'll say it verbatim. I feel honored and humbled, but also a tad proud that I was selected to receive the Heritage Productions 7th Annual Emancipation Award. And for me, I'm honored and humbled to accept this on his behalf. Thank you.
It's my honor to accept this award for my uncle. We call him Uncle Stody. He didn't feel right being here today since my father passed early this morning. But it's just an honor to be here. I'm so proud of him. And I just ask that you keep him in prayer as he goes through this difficult time. Thank you.
Even though he used to talk to me and try to calm me down, it didn't have too much of an effect on me. And I will say that I guess many of the young cricketers, teenagers, I was a teenager then, and they must have felt the same way I did. The nerves and everything that you, sometimes you can't fulfill your best out there when you're so nervous. Like I am now. But it was an honor to play in this game. And I look around, I see some of the guys that I played against. I want to thank those guys, you know. Because I think that the era that I played in produced some of the best cricket Bermuda has ever seen in the 60s and 70s. I don't think that is beneficial system.
First, I'd like to thank Heritage Production. And then I'll move on by saying, in my era of playing cop match, it's the likes of Clarence Parker, and we knew what he done. He played Heather, the songs in the cop match. And when I first came in this afternoon, what should I see? Parker bluer than me. See my cricket? I think someone to set me up. But in any event, I enjoyed my years of cricket, and believe me when I tell you, cop match is different. And people could say whatever they like. You play all the games you like, league, county games, but when you go on the field at cop match and you see thousands of people, it really makes you want to play cricket. You know, and it's through the fans that makes us what we are. And sometimes out there, when you play an especially cop match, it could be 1,000 people for you and 10 against you. No, you're 10.
But I'm pushing Georgia. And Nick happens to be my brother-in-law. Okay. He's right now, firstly, he sends his apologies for his absence and not being here today. He's overseas with his grandson on a soccer trip. Yes, he is. Somerset. He returns today. He wishes to express his thanks and appreciation to Mr. Tankard and the Heritage Production Committee for this honor. He is extremely humbled to be included in the light group of honorees here today, especially his teammate, Noah Gibbons. Also, Nick wishes to thank the Georgia Cricket Club for allowing him the opportunity to represent them in the annual Cup Match Class back in '72 and '73. He also wishes to thank his home club, the Ballis Bay Cricket Club, whom he represented for many years and will lead.
It's been some long talks of this mission. Also, I thank the Heritage Production for seeing fit to select me for this award. Yeah, I think it's fantastic that they do this because it's unfortunate here in Bermuda that once a sportsman retires, they're like, you know, and I think what the Heritage Production is doing, I think it's honestly fantastic. You know, I'm not a man of many words, but I just want to tell my president that all weekend I'm trying to find a length shirt. I got it this morning. President, then I look at his shirt, I was like, oh hell, I'm ready to believe. I told you what I got today. I'm saying next time.
Don't pay attention.
Okay, all right. First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for nominating in the program. I would like to say that Cup Match is special to us as fans, family, players, and I also like to remind us that Cup Match means all of us, not the other way around. Right? We all strive to make it, and sometimes we tend to think we're bigger than the game, but it's not true. I've enjoyed every minute of my sporting career, and especially cricket, Cup Match, when I remind Lee and others who, and there's opening days, there's opening burgers that you run in and the crowd is making so much noise that you don't even feel your feet touching the ground. And I tell you, it's breathtaking, but it's something that I could do all over again. Right? It won't happen, but I encourage all the young guys to go out, develop your skills, enjoy the game, be respectful of the game, use it as a vehicle, because we all have to get to it. And if you use it in the right way, it will take us many places. It may not make you rich, but it would open the doors and they will see that you are, what they see on the field should be the same person.
First of all, I'd like to give my condolences to the Durham family. I'm sure everyone else would like to do that as well.
Mr. Foggo, I must tell you, I know how you felt, because I experienced the same thing. When I saw Lee Rayner, you know, practically coming from a pavilion, and everybody was frightened. I especially, because they just had struck Reggie Tucker, and I was the next one up. So I didn't know if I had to put the pads on the right leg. That's how frightened I was. But what I would tell you, I'm sorry I never stayed around longer, because I'm going to tell you, you would have had some licks. But as everyone is saying, playing cup match is the pinnacle for most athletes in my time anyway. I mean, though I end up playing cup match twice on the field, in your mind, you probably played 100 times, because that was every young man's dream and ambition. And me and my brother in the yard many days had fights, playing cricket. You know, hey, you're not out, you're out, you know, that sort of thing. And hey, it's been a blast. I enjoyed it tremendously. If I, as Coach said, if I had to do it over again, I would do it, because there's nothing like cup match. I've been at Manchester United with 50, 60, 80,000 people, but cup match might be a bit smaller, but the crowd feels like 80,000 people. That's how bright it is. To the young people, hey, as Mr. Frey said, there's everything out there for the guys. I just hope they learn to behave themselves, carry themselves in the right manner, and remember, nobody is bigger than the game. The game is bigger than everybody, because when we're all finishing on, the game still goes on.
Mr. Minister, invited guests, former cup match players, head table, I'd first say to you, there is an educational program. It starts, and it's a song, and it says, one of these things are not like the other. Yes. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. I also need to say, ZBM, you don't have to cover this. The boss talking. Just listening, and again, from where we sit in the business, it's an honor to be reporting on, writing about, doing commentary. It's an honor to be interacting with the players, such as the Noel Gibbonses, the Winston Trotts, the Gary Freys, the Foggos. Very, very important. I remember Vernon as a phenom, another phenom, phenomenal player out of St. David's, coming from the East End. And from the commentary box, we just wondered what made him tick. He's talking about being nervous now. We didn't see that. We saw these incredible men of character coming to the fore. And as a colleague says, Jim Woolridge, cricket is more than a game. It is character building. Yeah? Something that, a common thread I heard early on, and again, I'm not like the others, I'm a little different. We didn't compete, we talk about those competing. But I learned at the feet of Alma Champart. Coming along, he was still going strong when I entered the broadcast field. And he was an academician, he was a broadcaster extraordinaire, he was an incredible cricketer, and everything he said, you must put your all into it. Yeah? So I sat with Champ Hunt and we were broadcasting. And I came out of the blocks real fast and tried to use the colorful language, and he says, wait a minute. First you've got to learn the game. You're learning the colorful language. You know, so and